Namaste. Hope all are doing well. Welcome to Subbus Lounge Talk. Today I'm going to talk about what the world talks about. Is the most one of the most common topics is how to manage stress. Stress is part of our life. You cannot eliminate stress, but you can manage stress. What does it mean manage stress? For example, if there is a rain, heavy rains, and you have to go out for some urgent work, you can't stop the rain. You can't eliminate the rain, but you can still take an umbrella and go. It is you can manage to go using an umbrella and not get wet badly. So stress is similar. Stress is like a huge rainfall during the rainy season, which you cannot stop. Yet a job needs to be done, the work needs to be over, you have something urgent to do. So you can manage by having an umbrella or a raincoat. Similarly, in this particular episode, I'll be talking about managing stress. Stress happens because of a lot of factors. The desire to the main factor, the main reason for stress is desire. You want to be desire to be get appreciated, desire to look good, desire to achieve something, desire to own some material possessions. There could be many types of desires. The starting point of stress is desire. Now, why do I say that? When you have desire, there are two possibilities. It can happen or it may not happen. Now, suppose it happens, happy, the desire is fulfilled, but new desires come in. And suppose it doesn't happen, then desire leads to anger. Non fulfillment of desire leads to anger because you feel that it is not within your control. Ideally, you would like life to be like a remote control, like to have a remote in your hand, and as you switch channels on the TV, whichever channel you want to see, yes, it is at the press of your button, finger button. So, if life would have been like that, there would have been no stress. अपना रिमोट निकालो, चलो अभी मेरे को सोनी टीवी देखना है, टकक सोनी टीवी आ गया, नहीं सोनी टीवी मज़ा नहीं आया, स्टार स्पोर्ट्स टकक, नहीं मज़ा नहीं आया, चलो इंडिया टुडे टकक, मज़ा नहीं आया, चलो लेट्स गेट रिपब्लिक टीवी टक. But unfortunately, what happens is life is not like a remote of a TV. हम सोचते कुछ है, होता कुछ है. The definition of life is हम सोचते कुछ है, होता कुछ है. We think something else happens. Now, having said this is the cause of stress. So I said stress is due to the desire. Because of the desire, non-fulfillment of a desire, it leads to anger. And when you are angry, it leads to delusion. Delusion means an imaginary depression that अगर ये नहीं हो गया ना तो खत्म. If my desire is not fulfilled means I am not worth it, I am worthless, or I need to somehow get it. You have an imaginary depression. Imaginary, it is just your mind which is working. ठीक है, if you something doesn't happen, It doesn't allow you to stay like that. Or one area काम नहीं हो, you see this, see that, it creates its own drama in your mind, that you thought you could go to, you could get that ticket, you didn't get it, or you thought you will you will have a great life, not happening. It's something similar. You thought today will be a great, you will have a good time, and you find you have a bad time getting into some argument in WhatsApp. You're just forwarding something inconsequential for you. Just take मजाक के लिए डालते हैं, and you find the other guy takes it very seriously and starts knocking at you. अरे, because the de- desire, what is the desire? The desire was the other person should appreciate your contribution, or the other person should like you, but something else happens, and because something else happens, anger gets filled in, and that leads to delusion. And once you start fighting with your own friends or your own relatives, which was unintended, or getting into an argument, or somebody not understanding you wanted to just, what is called, just do send an inform for information, or send something just to keep in touch, and you find the other person has taken it very harshly. Why did you send this? Maybe you are sending some photograph of some temple, and the other person is a nasty, and he comes back on the WhatsApp. Why you are sending? Why you are sending forwards of temples? Are you promoting this that? दुनिया भर का, which is not, तुमको एक टेम्पल का व्हाट्सएप मिला है, फॉरवर्ड मिला है, यू फॉरवर्डेड, end of it. But somebody has taken it as an, basically this happens when you send it in a group. In a group there are people of varied interests, so you feel okay, you don't even know who is watching your WhatsApp or who is not watching your WhatsApp. You don't care also. It's just that you saw a beautiful forward and you forwarded it for whatever heck of it, just to be in touch maybe with that group, or just to say that, yes, I have contributed to keep this group alive. So मैंने कुछ डाल दिया. And you find one of them just, boiling themselves, and then coming up with their own imaginary uh, comments, that, sending this WhatsApp about the temple was uncalled for, this that dunya bhar ka cheez. So how the stress has developed? The stress has, first it develops due to desire, and because of desire, non-fulfillment of the desire, you get angry, and angry leads to delusion. Delusion means an imaginary depression, and this delusion leads to non-discrimination. That is, your mind, which can discriminate what is right or what is wrong, it fails totally. I repeat, stress, the cause of stress is desire. Non-fulfillment of desire leads to anger. Anger leads to delusion, that is an imaginary depression, and imaginary depression leads to a non-functioning of your discriminatory mind. Discriminatory mind means that the mind which says that this is okay, not okay, take it easy. You have lost that sense of discrimination. Now, having said this, how do I come out of it? How do I come out of it? That is why, if you look at Bhagavad Gita, the whole thing is based on Nishkama Karma. Nishkama Karma means an action, an action done as an offering to God, and not worrying about the result. Why? Because the moment you worry about the result, you will get, you will feel yourself with stress. Array, yeah, yeah. The thing this the other way of doing things is I did my best. Now, whatever happens, it is in the hands of the Almighty. हमने हमारा काम किया, and that's all is called for. What you can do best, that is in your personal capacity. That's all is called for. Nothing more in real. But and what happens is the you attach your everything on yourself. For example, I failed, I couldn't do this, I didn't get it, what's wrong with me, I could have done, maybe I am wrong, and you start off keep cursing yourself. And while you do that, the stress builds up. Why only I am not able to do? Why things should go bad for me? It is going good for others. All these things builds up stress within you. So this nishkama karma is the essence of the entire. If you even look at it, the Bhagavad Gita, a desireless action. It is not easy. Whatever I'm saying is not easy. But what happens is, if you are aware of these particular concepts, if you are aware of these particular concepts, you will not get into a situation where you curse yourself for your failures. You will see what next. What next should I do? हो गया सो हो गया. What next? You will neither regret your past nor be anxious about your future. You will be in the present. Now, what do I do next? This is the essence of Nishkama Karma. And this, and when you put pressure on yourself, that is the time you are more stressful, more stressful. If you do it as an experience, as an you will not feel the pressure so much. You will tell yourself, ठीक है, if it is okay, so far so good. If it doesn't come okay, I will try the next best. So that this particular thing will allow you, that is the discriminatory mind. The discriminatory mind is the one which will give you the encouragement that come on, don't get so upset about this whole thing. होता है. You may get into argument with people, you can get argument with relatives, you can get argument with your colleagues, you may not get the position which you want. होता है ये सब. In spite, since our desires are strong, we want to get there very fast, but things don't happen the way we want. But and instead of building that stress and incapacitating you, means making your capacities to face the next task in full vigor, you your discriminatory mind says nothing wrong with you. उस टाइम में ऐसा हो गया, अगला क्या, let's move on to the next step. So what we've understood is we can't stop the rain during the rainy season. The rain, or you can't stop the sun shining very brightly, and in summers just glowing, temperatures of mercury level is going up, it's hot. What do? You wear a cap. You can't stop that. You can't eliminate the stress, but you can manage the stress by having a cap. And in terms of this, what you learn is, in terms of the concept in Bhagavad Gita, it is called Nishkama Karma, a desireless action. Now, once you do desireless action, doesn't mean you can't fulfill your desires. Magically, your desires get fulfilled. Magically. Now, how do you say that? Because for any desire to get fulfilled, there are two aspects. One is the event itself, and second is timing. For example, I want to become the CEO of this company. So that is an event. That is an event. But the timing, for example, no, I want to become a timing is I want to become a CEO at 45, or I want to become a CEO at 50. I want to become a CEO when for a particular desire to get fulfilled magically. The event may happen, but the timing is not in anyone can. The timing is not in your hand, and when the timing is not in your hand, and as you reach that particular time, age of 40, 45, and you're feeling that now you cannot become a chief or something like that, you build a stress within yourself. So basically, the stress that develops in fulfillment of any desire is the race against time, deadline. The race against time builds the pressure in you. If you just leave it as it, yes, I will become sometime. Timing is not important. Now or some other time. You will find magically the desire happens, but not at the time you require. So when you have a deadline, when you put deadlines, then the stress develops. For example, certain companies say in the next year your target is 20% more, 30% more, and by the time of December you're hardly at 10%. If you keep thinking about it, that you're only at 10% and 30% has to be done in the next 3 months, you will build an enormous amount of pressure inside you, which will lead to physical stress. Ultimately, even if you reach 30%, it's a part of the job. You're then in the next year it will become 40%. Next time it will become 50%. The sky is not going to fall if you don't achieve certain targets, or if you just certain desires of yours are not fulfilled. The sky is not going to fall, but because of that timing, because of that deadline, you feel, oh my god, I hardly have any time, I have to achieve this, and then you lead to the stress builds up in your body. And as the stress builds up in your body, as I said earlier, anger builds up. Anger leads to delusion, that is imaginary depression, and then that leads to a non-discriminatory mind, a mind that doesn't tell you that it's up chalta hai, this is okay, this is not nothing, you're not going to lose anything, sky is not going to fall, everything the sun will come, the sun will rise at 6:30, the sun will set at the sun will rise in the morning in the east, sun will set in the evening in the west, everything will happen in a routine manner. But since you wanted things to happen today itself, or within a week, within a month, within a year, the whole system gets upset if it doesn't happen, that desire is not fulfilled. So with that, I come to the end of this video, and I leave a thought with yours, with all with all of us, that desires are the starting point. Not saying you should not have desires. Desires are necessary for you to live life, do something worthwhile. Desires are something which you feel are worthwhile. So in life you have to do some worthwhile pursuit, do something worthwhile. But the timing that I need to, and deadlines, if it is not achieved, it leads to anger, and because of anger you may get into some imaginary depression, and then your non-discriminatory mind goes is gets damaged. Having said that, let's not fear stress, let's manage our stress. And this is the message, central message of this video. If you like this video, like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to press the bell icon for more such videos. And also, I request all my loyal subscribers to post this video in your status so that reaches a wider audience for a wider spread of this particular aspect. Thank you. Till we meet again. Goodbye and good night.